family eats veggies. As you might have noticed, it's been a little while since my last update. I've been a little bit busy. This month I actually moved apartments to another apartment in Madrid. So I'm still in the same city, but just different neighborhood. It was a lot of work though, a lot of work. It was a pretty big change, so I'm still trying to settle in even now. I think it's going to be a really good change for me, and I'm here living with a friend from church, so that's been really good too. But it is definitely an adjustment, and one of those adjustments is there's just not as much space as I'm used to here. This is definitely a more typical Spanish apartment. My last one was not. It was definitely out of the norm. So I'm getting adjusted to that. And along with that, one of the things is the kitchen is a lot smaller than I'm normally used to. Something else that's been going on lately is Spain is right in the middle of summer, so we are having 90-degree Fahrenheit weather pretty much every day, at least 90 degrees, if not higher. Yeah, and that's been going on for the last few weeks now. I am just surviving as best as I can. That's that's basically the stage we're at right now. Just trying to survive the summer. Summer in Madrid, it's brutal, let me tell you. If you ever want to visit Madrid, do not come in July, or August for that matter, yeah. Along with that, because it's been so hot, I haven't really felt like cooking. I've been trying to avoid cooking as much as possible, or only like preparing cold meals, just trying not to spend too much time in the kitchen in general. So I've been cooking a lot simpler, a lot faster, and also just with all the stress with moving, I've also been eating out a lot more. So just experimenting, trying new restaurants and places I haven't been to. Just last week, a friend and I went and tried poke for the first time. I've been kind of holding off because I know that it's a trend right now and going around. It's just crazy. I am really surprised how fast it's taken off, because just Madrid alone has like at least 5 different restaurants that are just poke. Like, that's what they do. They are dedicated to it. So anyways, I'd never tried it because I know like the traditional standard poke bowl is made with cold fish, but of course I don't eat fish. And the place we went to actually had a couple of different vegan/vegetarian options. So I had a poke bowl with tofu, and I'm happy to say it was delicious. But it's also pretty simple to make, as long as you have the ingredients. It's more just about assembly, you know, so maybe one of these days I'll actually make my own poke bowl at home. We'll see. With all that said, I think that's the quick update of how my summer has been so far. It's getting time for dinner, so I'm gonna whip up a really quick dinner. Like I said, trying to keep things simple and avoid cooking as much as possible, avoid standing in the kitchen, doing anything that's just using the stove or the oven. The oven is off limits at this point. Like, there's no way I'm turning that on. Yeah, so if you don't know already, here in Spain, it's just not very typical to use air conditioning. Or if you do use it, it's mainly just to help you sleep at night, you know, when it's really hot. You know, it's part of the way of life here, and you get used to it eventually. Enough talking. Tonight for dinner is a quinoa black bean salad. So I am cooking quinoa, and I am cooking black beans. They were dry beans that I am cooking. But the good thing about cooking dried beans is they can kind of do it on their own without you watching them. So you don't have to be there in the kitchen all that much time. Quinoa is basically the same thing. Like, as long as you get it started, it handles the rest of it. You know, you just set a timer and you'll be fine. And then the rest of it is I have to chop up some veggies and fruit. Yes, fruit is going in the salad. Don't know how you feel about that, but I like sweet and savory salads. And we're just gonna give it a go. So, if you have never cooked dried beans before, how do you know when they're done? It's very simple. You take one out with a fork. So I'm just gonna do that right now. They need a little more time. So you keep trying them every 30 minutes or so. And make sure that they always have enough water to be submerged. You don't want them, you don't want the water to evaporate out. And when they are soft and chewy, not crunchy, then they're done. It's time to cook the quinoa. If you're not familiar with it, it cooks a lot like rice. It's just 1 part quinoa to 2 parts water. You can add a little bit of salt. You bring it up to boiling, you turn the heat down to low, and then let it cook covered until most of the water has been absorbed by the quinoa. So it should look pretty grainy and have like a kind of rice-like texture. If you didn't know, quinoa is actually a seed. It's not a grain, it's a seed, and that's why it's also a lot higher protein content and a lot higher calories than rice. So if you're looking to be low calorie, you can easily substitute quinoa with rice instead. Nice and fluffy. Okay, it's time to prepare the rest of the toppings. So first off, we got a mango. Peel the mango. First thing. Yeah. I don't peel towards my hand like most people do, because I'm always afraid I'm gonna cut myself. So here we got our mango. Remember to cut around the pit right there in the middle. Can't cut straight through it. You gotta like take little slices off at a time. Alright? And then once you have a slice, you cut it into cubes like this. Or rough cubes. We're not doing geometry here. So I'm just gonna roughly chop the spinach. These leaves are pretty large. It's just gonna make some nice spinach shreds. Strips of spinach. I don't have to cut them too small, but you get the idea. Okay, now for the tomato. Doesn't have to be pretty. So I also had these cut up bell peppers that you don't have to include, but I had them in the fridge and I think this would be a great addition to our quinoa salad. There is one important piece that I haven't done yet. For a proper salad, you always have to have a dressing. I'm going to take the lazy route today, but I'm going to whip up a really simple little dressing to put on top. This quinoa salad would also be really great with some blended avocado sauce, if you have avocado. I don't, so I'm going to skip that today. And you can add hot sauce to, you know, play around with it. Try different flavors that you like. So for today, I'm just going to make a really simple dressing just to bring it all together. So first thing first, I have a lemon that I'm going to cut in half very carefully. Squeeze some juice there. I need about a tablespoon or so. And we're going to add some olive oil. You can be generous. A little cumin. Salt and pepper. And finally, a little bit of honey. Whisk that together.